I honor the Vice President continue.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for allowing the voice of
Point of order, rest.
My point of order is pursuant to the speech by His Excellency the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu, on page 8, where he said, and I quote, paragraph 27, we need to acknowledge that some of the environmental problems are man-made. Corporate institutions, individuals, citizens tend to ignore environmental impact of their commercial or individual activities which they conduct adjacent to water resources. In this regard, I am directing the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources and the Ministry of Water Development, Sanitation and Environmental Protection to take the lead in ensuring that our water sources and land adjacent to these areas are not adulterated by corporate entities or individuals in the name of development. Honorable Ministers and your permanent secretaries of the above-mentioned ministries, Ministry of Lands and Environmental Protection, ensure that the ZEMA and the Water Resources Management Authority, WAMA, realigns themselves to effectively carry out their mandate to produce the required results today and not tomorrow. From today henceforth, I shall not see a house or indeed a factory being built adjacent to our water resource, depriving the majority of other Zambians the usage of this water resource. End of quote from President Lungu. Mr. Speaker, in the area where Forest 27 is, a lot of citizens have complained about sinking dry boreholes. They spend a lot of money because the headwater for Chalimbana River and Chongwe River have been disturbed by the developments. I would like to quote now from the Daily Nation of yesterday, where I quote in part only, Forest 27 approved as councillors sanctioned 7 developers to commence works. A mid-round, Lusaka Town Clerk Alex Mwansa has confirmed that 7 developers have been authorized to commence construction on the controversial Forest 27 land in Lusaka, although it is not clear the mechanism, what mechanism was used in allocating the plots. Mr. Mwansa said developers had met all the requirements. A portion of the forest was recently degazetted by the President, and its subdivisions have now commenced. Last week there was public uproar after an earth-moving equipment belonging to the Zambia National Service was seen clearing portions of the land. Prominent persons reported to have allocated plots on Forest 27 in unclear circumstances. Some political players claimed that move was illegal as no environmental assessment was done on the land by the ZEMA. ZEMA could not be reached for comment. End of quote. Mr. Speaker, in today's edition of the same newspaper, Daily Nation, 26th of November 2019, and I quote also just in part, Forest 27, in fact it is a screaming headline, Forest 27, we know nothing. Lusaka City councillors deny granting authorization to developers. See story on page 3, and I'll quote this page 3 just in part. Lusaka City Council councillors deny granting authorization to the developers. Councillors are in shock after revelations that Lusaka City Council had authorized some developers to commence construction of the controversial Forest 27 land because they never sat to do that. A number of councillors expressed shock to learn that the council had approved when they never actually sat. End of quote. The rest, those who are interested can read as I'm going to lay this paper on the table. Mr. Speaker, we have been grappling as a country with these illegalities of people allocating themselves plots. In the midst of this confusion at the Council, I would like to find out whether the Minister of Lands and the Minister of Environmental Protection are in order to remain quiet when there was a clear directive from the President of the Republic of Zambia, as per what I quoted from his speech, and there are controversial statements that are coming from the same Lusaka City Council, where the Chief Executive...
The time now is 16:40. Suspend business for 20 minutes.
Is on the verge of completely narrating his point of order. Honourable Member for Mazabuka Central.
Indeed, Mr. Speaker, I was actually at the verge of concluding. Now, in the face of the documents that I quoted, the presidential speech, the newspaper articles from yesterday and today, and also knowing very well that papers have been lodged in the Supreme Court for a tribunal to be established surrounding this matter of Forest 27, so that it can be rested once and for all. Are the ministers responsible? Namely, the Minister of Lands, the Minister of Water Development and Sanitation, and the nomenclature is very long for me. And also now the Minister of Local Government and Housing, where these conflicting statements are coming from, in order to remain quiet without coming to this House to give us a statement that will conclusively put this matter to rest once and for all. I seek your ruling, sir.
My ruling is as follows. The Minister of Lands and Natural Resources will next week on Thursday issue a comprehensive statement on this subject, and in so doing will liaise very closely with the Ministries of Water Development, Sanitation and Environmental Protection, together with the Ministry of Local Government. That's my ruling. The Honourable Member for Chienge was just about to begin debating.